Hey Moneymakers, it's Joshua Bellinger, and in this episode of Follow the Money, we're going to talk about a company that we had an opportunity with a couple weeks ago that we're able to play it perfectly, make big profits on a small stock, and now it's setting up again where we can look to re-enter or replay that same opportunity. So taking a look at the chart here, we're looking at Smile Direct Club. A couple weeks ago, we talked about this one, and we mentioned I had explained the possibility of a run-up here. We have a lot of shares short, meaning that shares of the float are heavily shorted, and we can see a short covering. Now, what we saw here is that we moved right into $10, and I explained $10 was a key level because these are whole levels. These are big numbers, and this starts to separate from a penny stock to where institutional start to get interested in. So to the left of it, it IPO'd at $21, and now we're all the way at about $7.90 today. What we're seeing here is what most people will refer to as almost a change in sentiment, lower lows putting in. We got this rounded bottom here, and now we got this another lower high here, and almost the same thing what we're seeing here. So the same thesis that we talked about a couple weeks ago still plays out here. We still have a lot of shares short. And what that means is that those that are short, these funds that are short, hedge funds, they're going to look to take their profits. And when we get that squeeze is you get that buying pressure to the upside. With all the excitement, we have a short week this week, and all the excitement happening with the retail traders, with Robinhood and all these new participants, we're looking for opportunities that haven't been exposed or have opportunities to day trade. So this is one of those. We're looking at a stock that's $7.90. It's opportunity for anyone with any size account to play. And what we look here is at $10 again, we get that run up, we get that big spike because this is what's shown to happen with this stock is that it could go up to $10. I'm starting to think that we actually start to change and we see the overall change in sentiment where buying is starting to take place here and we start to see prices go higher here. One of the reasons, longer term, now this is not a longer term play here. What we're looking for is to buy at $7.90, have a stop a little bit lower here if you place your stop there, just because these are where the moving averages are. This is a 10-day and a 21-day. And you can see here on when the yellow line crosses, we start to see that change in trend. So right here, we have a lot of coiling on the chart here, and this is where pressure comes into play. This is where the battle is happening with buyers and sellers. All of a sudden, too many buyers start to step in, start to take prices higher. You get a bid, and you get those big moves higher. So I think we get to $10 here. This is one of those names that you'll see, a 20% move in a day because it's a low-price stock. Have a lot of shares short. One of the things that we also saw as well with 2 days to expiration here, and it's not too much of an interest. I mean, these are cheap bets. But this is what's interesting here. You have 2 days to expiration. You have a 10 to 15 cent option that was being traded here. You had 4,800 contracts traded. Some of those were being bought. It's not something that I would stand behind and say, hey, look, this is what, somebody is making some big bets here. These are not big bets, but these are interesting bets. Interesting on the fact that people are buying this with 2 days to expiration. Thursday's the expiration because Friday's the holiday. So when we look at this, back at the chart here, what could happen here? My bet is that we go higher, and it's looking to be where we could see prices charge higher. And as I was talking about a longer term theme, that it's good to talk about and just to bounce off and just to think about, but you just think about how many people have had to shut their business down. You think about orthodontists and how much of a cost that is and how many people are going to be able to afford that going forward. I think a longer term shift here with Smile Direct Club is that we actually start to see people start to use a service like this instead of having to travel to an orthodontist, which maybe that orthodontist is not even open anymore. And it's a lower price for teenagers to get aligners or even adults. So when I look at this, that's something I start to see. And it's interesting that we haven't seen that kind of that COVID portfolio approach. We've seen it in technology names, but we haven't seen it in a name like this. So what I think here is that we move higher from these levels. We hit that 10 level for sure, and we go from 8 to 10. That's $2 on a $7 stock. Big gains in its short time frame. That's what we look for. Keep an eye on this one. Play it. Keep a short stop. Sell it at 10. Talk to you in a few days, and we'll have another opportunity then. Take care.